And as the last speaker, I give the floor to the representative of Zambia on behalf of the landlocked countries.
Thank you, Mr. President, for organizing this informal dialogue and for organizing a very successful first ever town hall debate for all the candidates. I wish to thank Madam Christiana Figueres for your comprehensive briefing. I have the honor to speak on behalf of the 32 landlocked developing countries. As you know, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development dedicated special attention to the most vulnerable groups, including LLDCs. Being landlocked, least developed, and African country, this commitment is very important to my country, Zambia. The landlocked developing countries would like you to share with us your vision for mobilizing international support to LLDCs, especially for the implementation of the Vienna Program of Action. Thank you.
I thank the representative of Zambia and now give the floor to Madame Figueres.
Thank you very much, President. Let me start with the issues having to do with peace and security. I addressed before the different tracks that we have in protection of civilians, the first being obviously the political track on diplomacy, but if we have to move into mandates that have to do with force, then there the necessity of having clear mandates that are buttressed by finance and equipment and a calibration over time to ensure that the mandate is still in sync with the support and the tools that we're giving peacekeepers so that we do not expose them unduly or raise expectations that we cannot meet. Beyond that, I also believe that your question had to do with the protection of human rights. There, I would say there are very clear steps that we need to undertake. The first is to ensure that our very hardworking and overwhelmingly in high integrity peacekeeping troops for whom we have huge respect, but that there would be a filtering for any previous incidents that could have occurred before they form part of the peacekeeping troops. Secondly, we absolutely need, and it's already put in motion, training across all troops so that they understand what the expectation is, particularly in the protection of human rights, and that goes not just for the troops themselves, but very importantly for the commanders of those troops, who need to ensure that those standards are actually being respected. Fourthly, to have very clear reporting in place when there is a suspicion or some kind of a whistleblowing activity about some incident that wouldn't respect human rights, then it is very important to very quickly move to an investigation, and on the back of a robust, transparent investigation, then hold individuals to account. And that family of measures should get us onto a better track. Related to that, let me address the issue of standards, code of behavior. Yes, most clearly, I would, if it is proven, right, because we can't act just on hearsay, but if it is proven that a UN staff member has not acted in fullest standards of UN, I would not have a problem in asking that person to step down. Let me say that unfortunately, when I inherited the responsibility that I inherited, I did have to pursue such a case. It took me a year and a half because I wanted to make very, very sure that the report was a report that I could trust and that was being fair. But once that report came in, that individual has left the system because there is zero tolerance, in particular for sexual abuse. With respect to cholera in Haiti, I do believe, as I said quite clearly in the General Assembly just 2 days ago, that there is a moral imperative here of the United Nations. And yes, I would have the courage and the need, frankly, the personal need to ask for forgiveness of the Haitian population, because that is an unintended consequence, but it has had huge impacts. So there is a moral responsibility here. There is a moral imperative to act according to our own standards. Even if that were not the case, there's also a development imperative here, because Haiti, as we all know, is an LDC. Haiti, as we all know, has been beset by impact after impact, whether it's natural, political, social, economic. That country can just stack up all of the negative impacts that they have had to endure. And so, in the face of an LDC that has had that experience, would we not want, as the United Nations, to focus our efforts and free Haiti from cholera? Because in so doing, we would also be advancing the SDGs, we would be returning dignity, health, and opportunity to the population of Haiti. With respect to corruption, again, I have zero tolerance there. Again, it has to be on the back of very robust investigation, not on the back of hearsay, but it has to be zero tolerance policy, and a policy that is actually then implemented. And I do believe that the Umoja system that the United Nations has started to implement will allow us to track much better financial resources, either in the field, in country, or here in headquarters. With respect to the different stages of development, that is a painful reality. And as I said before, it is our commitment already as humanity to not only leave everyone behind, but to start with those that are most behind. And the landlocked countries have an extraordinary overlap with the LDCs, and most of them are LDCs. So if there is a group of countries that needs our urgent attention, our integrated attention, both on behalf of the UN system as a whole, but on behalf also of all actors that work with the UN system, the regional development banks, the World Bank, etc. They all need to be brought in unison to support and fast forward the development that is so clearly needed by the landlocked developing countries. And again, I have to raise the voice of alarm. And if we do not face climate change in a timely way, those countries will also be almost made impossible for them to get out of extreme poverty, because they will always be trying to reconstruct. And so that is a situation that we cannot allow. And with respect to management, I think the answer is pretty, thank you for giving me the answer. The answer is pretty clear. Yes, it is definitely a collaboration of equals, as I have done throughout my entire life. I rely very heavily on collective wisdom. But I have to warn you that if that collective wisdom does not come to a clear consensus, I do not hesitate in taking a leadership role as I see fit.
We have now come to the end of this meeting. I would like to thank Madame Figueres for her strong engagement here today and for responding so openly to many questions posed by the membership. Like the other candidates, she too has done herself proud and deserves a sincere appreciation. I would also like to thank you, the membership, for your continued constructive engagement in these dialogues. As I've said previously, I stand ready to organize further informal dialogues for any candidate that have yet to come forward. In the meantime, as you know, the Security Council will hold its first straw poll next Thursday. As indicated in my letter to the membership on the 7th of July, I will continue to engage with the President of the Security Council so as to ensure that the full membership is kept informed of the process of consideration in the Council. In my view, this should include communication of the results of the straw polls in the same vein as will be communicated to the candidates. I see this as an important continuation of the transparency and inclusivity that has defined this new process to date. Indeed, I don't think that this assembly wants those features in any way diminished as we move into the most critical phase of the process. I thank you very much, and hereby the informal dialogue is closed. The meeting is adjourned.